Well, look, listener, I got no problem with the decision in the fight, partly because if Mosfar had gone out there and fought the way he should have fought, meaning a grappling centric fight game, he'd have almost blanked Lerone. Probably would have, if Lerone won one round, he would have been really lucky. But he didn't do that. And I'm reminded of Martin Kampmann. I remember Martin Kampmann was the welcoming fight to a teammate of mine at the time, Jake Shields, to the UFC. And Jake had been fighting at middleweights, and I think Nick Diaz had been at 170, and they kind of split the Strikeforce ranks because they were all stars and they were all champions in those divisions. So Jake had to cut from 185 to 170, and it was a brutal weight cut for him. I didn't see much of that. I just see him around the gym, but the fight was very telling, right? Like Jake Shields stated, turtle the way I used to when I was really heavy, a guy who was just exhausted. And Martin Kampmann responded by grappling with Jake Shields. Anybody who knows Jake Shields, you don't grapple with him, man. He's got garbage disposal style strength in clinch positions. So you're giving him a chance to win. If I remember correctly, Martin Kampmann was fighting Paul Daly, who has just kryptonite in his hands for almost anybody in the feet. He just bombs away. And he started Muay Thai fighting Paul Daly. And that's fighting to your opponent's strengths, not fighting to their weaknesses. And that's not good game planning. I think what Mosfar did during that fight was he fought to Lerone's strengths, and I think he made the fight more difficult for himself than he should have. All that having been said, I don't imagine he's going to do any silly things like that against a guy like Volkanovski. Look, Islam almost lost to Volkanovski in their first fight. So that is not something you do with an opponent that dangerous. But, we'll see. Like I said, I think Mosfar's probably been beating up world-class guys in the gym and feeling himself and be really good. But on fight night, guys, you got to go back to your basic instinct. What works for you more than anything else? And if you don't do that, you're in for a long night. And even though Jake Shields won that fight against Martin Kampmann, even though Mosfar won the fight against Lerone, it was not the best game plan for their success. So, in my personal opinion, look, coaches, they can only do so much. But at the end of the day, coaches are responsible for your game plan. They're the ones who should be deciding what you do when you go up against whichever opponent, and there it is. I think and Mike Brown pleaded with Mosfar in between rounds 1 and 2, hey, grapple this guy. Mosfar's like, yeah, I'll get to it. He got to it in round 4 where he really started dominating. Yeah, anyway, that's how I saw it, listener. Like and follow for more on the Fight Kid.